Hello everyone and welcome to part 3 of my Build My CNC Machine video series. In this episode I'll walk you through how I fabricated custom timing pulleys, mounted the motors and began putting the machine into operation. The previous video significantly outperformed the others on my channel, reaching the top position with at least double the views of the next highest video. This milestone was made possible by your support. Thank you. If you find this content valuable, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Your engagement helps signal to the algorithm that this topic is in demand and that my work is appreciated. And if the video doesn't meet your expectations, feel free to let me know by using the dislike button twice. With all that said and out of the way, let's get started. As promised, I'll begin by explaining how I made the timing pulleys. Here, I'm using the circular pattern function of the milling machine's DRO. I started by spot drilling each hole, followed by drilling through the material with a spiral bit. Next, I cut off excess material using miter saw and turned the remaining piece on the lathe to remove everything that is not the pulley. At the time of this build, I was unable to source pre-made pulleys of this size with bores small enough to fit the ball screw ends. As a result, both the X and Y axis ball screws are equipped with custom-made DIY timing pulleys, while the Z axis is driven via a flexible coupling connected directly to the motor. It took several iterations to determine the correct pattern diameter so the belt would properly conform and wrap around the pulley. The number defines the arc distance between the holes. It is going to be different for different size pulleys. As we continue on, it's time to make motor mounts. We'll begin with the y-axis. Here I remove the y-axis side from the machine yet one another time. Here I am making gestures of unknown origin. And here will be the motor mount. Need to bore another hole. This gets quite boring, no pun intended. I didn't feel like clamping the plate in a lathe chuck for this operation, so I had to get a little creative with a boring head. The step is to receive and index in place the motor's face flange and lock it in the exact center where it needs to be. The opposite side of the plate gets these channels milled to accommodate the timing belt because shaft lengths are limited. You can see where I got carried away and drilled a little bit more than what was called for. But this shouldn't make any difference and I intend to keep it as is. I milled the pocket to receive the mounting plate off camera and it seems to fit nicely and the assembly here is a breeze. The factory pulleys came with a bore smaller than the motor shaft, so I had to use the lathe to turn larger bores to fit on motors. But that's only half the battle, for there is one more feature to make, which is the key slot. Using proper tools for the job makes all the difference, especially when it comes to broaching key slots. Never mind that the broach is narrower than the keyway. A slight manipulation from side to side during the setup makes for a wider keyway. And of course, the help is priceless. The design of my machine calls for a double timing pulley, which is next to impossible to find. Creativity and applied thinking combined with nice tooling come to the rescue again. This will be the X-axis double pulley. Here's what it looks like after being bolted together and the key slot broached. And here is how it will be mounted. Eventually, I'll run out of things to be mill-o-drill-o tapped, but for now, I get to mill the X-axis motor mount plate. The process is the same for the most part, so I'll try and spare you time on this one. Z-axis motor coupled to the ball screw in a different way. The flexible coupling that I have on hand fits on motor end, but the ball screw end needs an adapter like this. I made this off camera and am quite pleased how it turned out. The set screw will be holding it to the ball screw, and the keyway will go into the slot in the coupling that will be driving it. Somewhere in the midst of all this, I drilled a few strategically placed holes for an easier access to the bolts behind the Z-axis plate. This way the machine can be disassembled while keeping the linear carriages on the rails. Only a few more screws before the machine will come alive. The first useful thing that this machine has made was parts for itself. The new bigger router mounts. I had to file and sand the first one to make it fit, but on the second one I adjusted the tool offset and it went flawlessly. One mount is made to split, the other is one piece. When mounts were clamped onto the router, I measured and found that the router does not sit parallel to the surface plate. It is off by about 0.03 millimeter. Scraping aluminum is an easy enough task that I actually enjoyed it. Gradually, the router mount gained more surface contact points, and the router is set nice and parallel. The last point in this video is the 4th axis adapter plate to mount the 4-jaw chuck. The newly mounted big router is capable of more aggressive cuts and make this step quick and easy. I'd like to take this time and thank you for your patience to watch this video to this point. Now there's still time to do the right thing.